That race at Las Vegas was freaking awesome. That race was so good. Like, that finish was incredible, and the whole race in general, except really for the first half of the race, was genuinely awesome. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the Cup playoff race at Las Vegas International Speedway, and like I just said, that finish was insanity. That was an incredible race tonight. Let's just say that the race turned into a chaotic. Most of the first half of the race was pretty much straightforward. Most of the race tonight was dominated by Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott. And then Alex Bowman showed up at the end. Chase Elliott's picture tonight was completely dog crap. They were absolutely horrendous in this race. They were probably the best car, if not for Denny Hamlin, they were probably the best car in this race. And then they completely took a crap because they literally fell back like 5 or 6 spots throughout the race tonight on pit stops. I mean, they didn't lose 10 spots like certain drivers did on pit road, but I mean, they were just completely awful. They're going to lose lose a shot at winning a championship if they have bad pit stops like that. Like I said, Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin were clearly the two best cars in this race for the first half. They both won the stages tonight. Hamlin and Chase Elliott were both able to win the stages early in this race. And then the last stage, the race got really good. Kyle Busch in the second stage, by the way, he had his air gun issues on pit road, which was one of the big moments of this race. Also, Jimmy Johnson got a speeding penalty, which that really sucked. That was not good to see. And then the race got kind of crazy in the final stage. A lot of good racing. And Alex Bowman shows up at the end of this race. He was up front a majority of the night. The Hendrick cars were really fast tonight. Like, they were up front a majority of this race. But Bowman kind of fell back at the end, and then we're going to talk about the big moment and the big caution of the race where everything completely changed. It made this race go from kind of a mediocre race to a really awesome race. Jimmy Johnson would end up having a tire go down, and his tire would actually blow, bringing out the caution with about 30 laps to go in this race. At the time, Matt Benedetto had just entered pit road. Kurt Busch and about 6 other guys would end up staying on the race, would actually have to come down pit road. They were on the lead lap. Everyone else, except Alex Bowman, was trapped a lap down. And Matt Benedetto got a gift handed to him pretty much at this point because he would end up actually being the leader of the race, and Kurt Busch would be in the second. And then we go racing for the final 30 laps of this race. And John Nemechek, who was in 4th at the time, would end up spinning out with about 18 laps to go in this race and drove straight up to the top of the track. Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would be involved in that crash. That would take them out of this race. And unfortunately, Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. were actually having decent nights. Eric Jones is in the top 10 a lot of the night as well. Unfortunately, that would cost him a shot at going out there to, contend for a race win up to this point. And then you had Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman, who were charging their way up to the front. With 15 laps to go, Denny Hamlin and a bunch of guys like Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick all decided to come down pit road to try to get fresher tires. And I really thought that those fresher tires were really not going to have a chance to get up front because of the clean air. Well, I was wrong. They literally drove straight up to about 4th or 5th with about 7 laps to go. And then William Byron would spin out after Christopher Bell got into the outside wall. He was slowed down enough, and William Byron would spin out, and Corey LaJoie with the Trump car would end up wrecking with 7 laps to go, costing him a shot at winning the race. Then we would end up having an overtime line restart with Kurt Busch on the outside and Matt Benedetto on the inside. Matt Benedetto tonight had a really strong performance a majority of this race. He was up front, top 10 a majority of the night. It sucks that he wasn't in the playoffs. Same thing with Ryan Blaney. Both those Penske cars were really fast. And I know Wood Brothers is associated with Penske. That's why I'm associating him with Team Penske. And Wood Brothers, please resign him. Thank you. I would appreciate that. But man, the final restart would get crazy. You had Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman deciding to make it 4 wide, coming down the front stretch. Well, on the white flag, Kurt Busch would end up having the race lead. Denny Hamlin is charging on the inside of Matty D. It wouldn't be enough, though. Coming off of turn number 4, Kurt Busch steals the win away from Denny Hamlin and Matt Benedetto and clinches his spot into the round of 8 in an insane, crazy finish. Kurt Busch is your winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So now let's go ahead and take a look at results, and we're actually going to go take a look at the playoff standings as well. Kurt Busch won tonight's race. He kind of got lucky with that caution with about 35 laps to go where the field basically got shuffled. Guys like Truex, Bowman, and Hamlin would all fall back. Kurt Busch still earned the win, though, but he got kind of lucky and stole the win. But he has advanced his way into the round of 8 Really, really strong run for Kurt Busch. Matt Benedetto finishes second. Really awesome run for Benedetto. He ties his best career finish of second place, which he's done that twice before, by the way. Matty D, man, they need to re-sign him next year because he did really good tonight. Ran in front of the majority of the race, ran top 5 at the end of the race, was one of the best cars at the end of 9 and got a second place finish. Great run for Matty D. Denny Hamlin rebounds back to a third place finish after pitting with like 15 laps to go. Drove all the way back up to third. Denny Hamlin had the best car pretty much all race long, and I thought that he was going to win this race. That timely caution and Alswan pass him really cost him a shot at winning the race tonight. Mark Truex Jr., very solid run in 4th place. Great run for Truex. I thought Truex would be a little bit more of a factor in tonight's race, but he did really well and got 4th. Great run for him. Alex Bowman finished his 5th. Really awesome run for Alex Bowman. He ran up front a lot of the day and the evening and earned a top 5 run. Great run for Alex Bowman. Kyle Busch finished his 6th. He was like in 15th or 20th at one point in this race, and he actually had some tempers early in the race between him and Joey Logano in the start of stage 2. Logano was really aggressive at the beginning of the race. We're going to talk about that a little bit here before we get back to the rest of the race results. But those two had some aggression going into turn number 3. Denny Hamlin made a bonsai 3-wide move at the start of stage 2 to take the race lead. And Kyle Busch got into Logano. They would both end up getting a tire rub. Logano would have to come down pit road. I think he ended up finishing on the lead up. I don't remember where he finished in this race. But Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, tempers flaring again from last week. There were issues from that. But Kyle Busch rebounds a 6th place finish. Great run for Kyle Busch. And he had the air gun problems, like I mentioned, which kind of cost him in this race because he was a top 5 car pretty much majority of the night before that. Ryan Blaney finished his 7th. If he was a playoff driver, this would have been a great run for him, but instead he's not a playoff driver anymore, but a great run for Ryan Blaney regardless. Eric Jones, even with the damage, rebounds to an 8th place finish. Great run for him. Chris Buescher, once again, with another top 10 run. Having continuous top 10 runs, that's really good for Chris Buescher, and maybe that momentum will carry to him to have some better runs as the rest of the season goes on and maybe carry momentum into next year. Kevin Harvick finished his 10th. Harvick was awful tonight. Harvick, he's been dominant all year, and I thought tonight, where he's been really good at Vegas, I thought he was going to be running up front a lot of the night. He was running like 10th to 15th a lot of this race. He just was off tonight. I don't know what's going on with Kevin Harvick, but man, 10th place, not a good run for Kevin Harvick. He needs to have better runs than that. Maybe this will be the only race where he struggles, but this was a really important race to have a really good run, and the fact he finished 10th, and you got Dagan and Roble coming up, that is not a good run for Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson finished 11th after having a tire go down, coming over the 11th place run. Great run for Jimmy Johnson. Clint Bowyer finished his 12th. Brad Keselowski finished his 13th. Joey Logano rebounds a 14th place finish after going a lap down. He really never could get back on the lead lap. I thought he probably had a top 5 car in this race, but he comes home with a 14th place run. Not a bad run. It kind of salvages a pretty good point stake. Ryan Newman finished his 15th. Cole Custer finished his 16th. Eric Almirola 17th. Thought he expected a little more for Eric Almirola, but he didn't run good at Vegas last time. 17th place. Solid run for Eric Almirola. Matt Kenseth 18th. Ryan Preece has his 4th straight top 20 finish in 19th. Great run for him. John Nemechek, after spinning out, comes home in the top 20. Michael McDowell, 21st. 22nd, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, top 2 car most of the night. Probably one of the cars to beat. Only guy really I think could be Hamlin a majority of this race. Pit crew was awful, like I mentioned. They were completely dog crap. On top of that, Ryan Newman apparently blocked him on the restart. I think he needs to confront Newman about that because, in all honesty, especially with a plow run, I don't know why Newman's blocking when he's like 25th in the standings. No point in doing that. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 23rd. Christopher Bell 24th. Christopher Bell was in 3rd before he went into the outside wall. William Byron 25th. Ty Dillon 26th. Corey LaJoie 27th. 28th, Bubba Wallace. 29th is Daniel Suarez. 30th is Brendan Poole. 31st, Gray Galding. 32nd, Austin Dillon. 33rd, J.J. Yeley. 34th, Quinn Houff. 35th, Joey Gase. 36th, Josh Blicky. 37th, Timmy L. 38th, Tyler Reddick. And 39th, Chad Fincham. I forgot to mention about Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon ended up having a safety violation late in this race. He was in the top 5 a majority of the night. And then the night basically went from bad to worse for him because he ended up falling off a cliff pretty much in the end of this race. And he had steering issues, and that would basically cost him a shot at winning or having a really good run here at Vegas, which is a great shame because he's been having a really good run in the points, and he had a really good night. And unfortunately, tonight was not a good finish for him. So anyway, now, those are the results. Let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings, and I'm going to give you my race review and the score for tonight. So Kurt Busch has locked himself up in the not a championship, but it locked himself into the next round, unless, of course, he does fail inspection. I don't feel like he's going to fail inspection, no. Kevin Harvick, even though not a great night, is 61 points above the cutoff line. Strong run for Kevin Harvick in the points. He's pretty much, I think, good to go. I don't know. He probably could have 2 bad races, still advance. 61 points to good. Denny Hamlin, same thing, 58 points to the good. Hope he doesn't struggle at Talladega or the Roval, but I feel like Hamlin's probably going to be good to go. Brad Keselowski, 4th. Did not run fantastic tonight. Only 16 points to the good. Anyone below here is in contention. Truex is 15 points to the good. Joey Logano, 11. Chase Elliott, only 10 points to the good heading to Talladega. Alex Bowman, 9 points to the good. And the 4 below the cutoff line are Kyle Busch, 9 points below. Clint Bowyer, 20 points below. 27 points back. Eric Almirola and Austin Dillon is 32 points back. Looking at the playoff standings right now, Kyle Busch could still get in. He's 9 points out, but the last 2 tracks are just completely not great for Kyle Busch. I'm not looking forward to see what Kyle Busch is going to do there. Clint Bowyer, Eric Almirola, and Austin Dillon, I feel like, are in bad positions. And Kurt Busch, locked in. Honestly, if Kurt Busch doesn't win tonight, he probably wouldn't advance to the round of 8 anyways. But, man, what can you say about this race? Like I said, the first half of the race was genuinely a really kind of slow starter race. And then the second half of the race, the racing got good. I am going to give the score with that crazy finish and the crazy ending. I'm going to give the score for tonight's race a solid 8 out of 10. This ending was so good. If the race wouldn't have had a really good ending, I would have probably given it a 6 out of 10. But Vegas put on a really good show once again. First half of the race, the tires kind of made the racing not as good. But with the end of the race and all the chaos craziness, this race was salvaged. And I have to say that the South Point 400 at Las Vegas was an excellent race here tonight and great racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So anyway, next 2 races coming up are Talladega and the Charlotte Roval. 2 probably of the most crazy races tonight. The race is really important. If you didn't run good, you might be in trouble heading to Talladega and the Charlotte Roval, especially if you're not good there. So you needed a really good run tonight. Man, we're going to Talladega and the Charlotte Roval next. It is going to be chaotic and it is going to be crazy. So anyway, that is going to be it for my race review here from Las Vegas International Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you get notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Link description below for that. And combo your thoughts on tonight's race. What did you think of tonight's race? Let me know in comments. Well, congratulate Kurt Busch on winning his first race of the 2020 season and locking his spot up in the round of 8. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.